It's me. It's just me. It's just Super Bad Ryan, Super Bad Sharp. Bean's not here. Welcome back to Coming This Summer.
Action!
Cyberpunk Edgerunners. If you didn't know what we're talking about, you obviously should know because you clicked on the video. So, this show is one of my favorite shows on Netflix currently. It is probably my favorite animated show on Netflix of all time. I think this tops the Blood Dragon show that we just watched, Bean and I, a couple months ago at this point. I was on the subs. I was on the subreddits, plugging the vids, you know. I think it was on the Ubisoft subreddit. Somebody was like, you need to go watch Cyberpunk Edgerunners right freaking now. Because if you liked Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix, then you will like Cyberpunk Edgerunners. And I am a big fan of the video game that recently came out, Cyberpunk 2077, which I have played quite a little bit of. I think I'm at 200 hours on that thing. So it was nice to see a show about it. It was very cool to be set in that world, like with an actual story. There is a story in the video games, but it did feel very nice to actually get characters who we can attach to and have actual stakes with this crew of people we meet. The comparison to the video game, I don't think there's really much. The main character who you play as in the video games is V. I don't think they, he, she, because you can choose the gender of the character. I don't think they're in Edgerunners, the show. I think there's some cross between the show and the game, though. I think maybe there's outfits you can get in the video game of, like, the two main characters. And those two main characters are David and Lucy, respectively. Super great names. This show overall was good. I don't think I liked the finale of the show without spoiling too much. I don't like where it was going, but I think it was necessary to what the plot was developing. That being said, the rest of the show is great. Go check it out. I won't give too much away of the plot, but our characters are great. The animation is beyond amazing. And the greatest part about the show, I don't even want to talk about the plot. I don't even want to talk about the characters. The soundtrack. The music in this show is so good, dude. Just pop on that Edgerunner soundtrack, and when you're driving, when you're working out, when you're playing video games, when you're listening to this, just put it on in the background. It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect music. The soundtrack in this show is beyond standout to anything else in the show. I've literally had the soundtrack on loop for weeks now since I finished the show. Actually, I did do a weird watching point. It kind of, the show breaks itself up without like a time skip, but like a big thing happens and then the next episode some time has passed and like characters have upgrades and they're all teched out and stuff. I didn't stop at that breaking point. I stopped just before that, and then like 2 weeks later came back to it, and then it had a breaking point, and I was like, oh, okay, I should have just finished it. So just watch the show all in one go. It's definitely a binge watcher. It's only 6 episodes. It's very short, 25 minutes apiece. It's an anime, so, you know, if you're not tickled about animes, then maybe it's not for you, but I would check out the first episode, and if you don't like it, then maybe tune out. But it is you do feel like you're so in that cyberpunk world, and it makes you want to go play the game right after watching an episode. So I think that it did its job of what CD Projekt Red was trying to do. I think, not to compare them because they're completely different shows, but The Witcher Properties is a game series developed by the same company that did the Cyberpunk video game. So CD Projekt Red, out of those two properties, Witcher and Cyberpunk, I don't know if that game studio had anything to do with the Witcher show, but Cyberpunk show is a lot better than the Witcher show right now, because the Witcher show is losing their main actors, and they're not going with the book, and they're going off the rails, and they have no idea what they're doing. Instead of just creating their own story with their own characters and set it in the world with their own shit going on. Because the whole crew we meet in this show, we have David and Lucy, and then there's like a bunch of others. The other crew, the crew members that we get, the characters in the show are great, and by the time like obviously some of them die. By the time those characters die, you're like bawling. You like feel for them, but they just like go like that. It's like they're dead, and now because we're still doing this. So hey, we don't have time for you to give a shit about that death. It's not like Game of Thrones, and I keep comparing it to other shows that it's nothing like, but Game of Thrones gives you the death, and then you really have time to let it sink in, fester. This is like you're dead. This happened. And now we're doing this, and this is the thing that is happening. It's like, we'll worry about that at a later time, okay? Yeah, I'm lukewarm on the finale, but I'm super positive on the rest of the show. So I'm gonna say 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. In that, it would be an 8, but I did not like the finale, even though, and I know I'm gonna get hate for it, but even though it was leading to that, and it only had to be that way, it's like I just didn't like it, because I didn't want that to happen. So that's maybe why I'm not as positive on the finale as I am on the rest of the show. But I won't take up too much of your time. Cyberpunk Edgerunners, go check it out. Bean will be back tomorrow for a box office review or a movie review. But
visually,
I don't know how Bethesda made a fucking Fallout show before they made a fucking Elder Scrolls show, but grumble. This looks fucking awesome.
I grabbed a moldy one.
it is. Oh my God, it's Chris Parnell. Oh my
It is.
God.
Okay.
Come on. I'm